What if everything you've ever been taught about money was only half the truth? We've been told that becoming rich is simple. Study hard, get a good job, work harder than everyone else, invest wisely, and one day you'll finally be free. But then explain this. Why do lottery winners end up bankrupt? Why do some people earning millions still feel trapped? And why do ordinary people with average salaries quietly build fortunes without anyone noticing? Money doesn't reward intelligence, it doesn't reward effort, and it definitely doesn't reward how many hours you work. It rewards something far more invisible: behavior. Because money has never been a math problem, it's a psychology problem. The biggest financial mistakes are rarely caused by a lack of knowledge. They're caused by fear, ego, impatience, comparison, and the stories we keep telling ourselves. The truth is, most people don't lose money because they don't understand investing. They lose money because they don't understand themselves. And once you realize that, you'll never look at money the same way again. Today, we're not talking about stocks or budgets or secret investment strategies. We're talking about something much deeper. The invisible rules that quietly determine whether money becomes your greatest servant or your lifelong master. By the end of this video, you won't just think differently about wealth, you'll think differently about yourself. Imagine two people, both are 25 years old, both graduate from the same university, both get the same job, and both earn exactly the same salary. On paper, their future looks identical, but 20 years later, one of them is financially free, the other is drowning in debt. What happened? Did one get luckier? Maybe. Did one work harder? Possibly. But most of the difference came from something almost nobody notices: the small decisions made every single day. One person bought things to impress people, the other bought freedom. One increased their lifestyle. Every time their income increased, the other increased their investments. One chased status, the other chased peace of mind. And over time, those tiny decisions became habits. Those habits became character, and that character quietly shaped their financial destiny. This is the greatest illusion about money. People think wealth is what you can see: the expensive car, the luxury watch, the designer clothes. But real wealth is invisible. It's the money that wasn't spent, the investment nobody applauded, the opportunity created by patience. Because true wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about having the freedom to wake up tomorrow and choose how you want to live. That's the game most people never realize they're playing. Imagine, you finally buy the car you've dreamed about for years. For a moment, it feels like you've won. People look at you differently. Friends congratulate you. You feel successful. But a few weeks later, that feeling disappears. Suddenly, someone else buys an even better car, and without realizing it, you're back where you started, still chasing, still comparing, still believing the next purchase will finally make you feel complete, but it never does. Because the biggest enemy of wealth isn't poverty, it's comparison. The moment you start measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel, you'll always feel behind. No matter how much you earn, there will always be someone richer, someone younger, someone more successful. And if your happiness depends on beating them, you'll never have enough. The strange thing is, money was never meant to buy status. It was meant to buy choices. The freedom to spend time with your family. The freedom to walk away from a job you hate. The freedom to say no. That's what real wealth feels like. Not louder, but quieter. Not showing the world, but protecting your peace. Because the richest people aren't always the ones who own the most. Sometimes, they're simply the ones who need the least. History has a strange habit: it keeps repeating itself. Not because people forget the past, but because people never change. Every financial bubble, every market crash, every overnight success story is driven by the same two emotions: fear and greed. When prices are rising, people believe they'll rise forever. They stop asking questions, they stop thinking clearly. They don't invest because they understand. They invest because everyone else is doing it. And when everything begins to fall, the same people panic. They sell, they run. Not because the opportunity disappeared, but because their confidence did. The market didn't change overnight, their emotions did. That's why intelligence alone doesn't create wealth. Some of the smartest people in the world have made catastrophic financial decisions, not because they lacked knowledge, but because they couldn't control themselves. The hardest part of building wealth isn't finding the perfect investment, it's staying calm when everyone around you is losing theirs. Because money has a way of testing your patience every single day. The people who succeed are rarely the ones who react the fastest. They're the ones who remain steady while everyone else is controlled by emotion. That is where real wealth begins. Imagine planting a tiny seed. You water it every day. You protect it from storms. Weeks pass, nothing changes. Months pass, still nothing. If you judged the tree by those first few months, you'd probably believe your effort was wasted. But beneath the surface, something invisible is happening. The roots are growing. Money works the same way. Most people quit, not because they're failing, but because they expect results too soon. They chase shortcuts, the next big investment, the next trend, the next promise of overnight success. But wealth has never been built overnight. It has always been built. One small decision, repeated consistently, for years. The world celebrates quick success, but history rewards patience. The people who quietly save, who keep learning, who keep investing, who resist the temptation to start over every few months. They rarely become rich in a single moment. Instead, their success becomes so gradual that one day people look at them and say, they got lucky. No, they stayed, while everyone else kept chasing something new. The greatest advantage in money isn't earning more, it's giving your good decisions enough time to grow. Because time is the only investment that every wealthy person owns equally. The difference is how they choose to use it. So, what does it really mean to be wealthy? Most people spend their entire lives chasing a number, a bigger salary, a bigger house, a bigger bank account, believing that when they finally reach it, life will begin. But life was never waiting. At the finish line, it was happening every single day. Real wealth isn't measured by what you own, it's measured by what you no longer need to prove. The ability to sleep peacefully. Knowing your future isn't controlled by your next paycheck. The confidence to make decisions based on your values instead of other people's expectations. The freedom to spend time with the people you love, to walk away from things that steal your peace, and to wake up every morning knowing your life belongs to you. That's what money was always meant to buy. Not attention, not status, not admiration, but freedom. Because in the end, the richest person in the room isn't the one with the most possessions, it's the one who has the fewest chains. Maybe the goal was never to become rich, maybe the goal was to become free, and perhaps that's the greatest investment you'll ever make. If this video changed the way you think about money, don't let it become just another idea you forget tomorrow. Choose one lesson and live it, because knowledge only becomes wealth when it changes your behavior. If you enjoy thoughtful explorations of psychology, money, and the ideas that shape our lives, consider subscribing. Until next time, keep investing, not just in your money, but in the person who earns it.